How you doing all? Dick Linky here, and I want to let you know that what you're about to watch is a retro video pulled straight from the archives. And they're just some videos that we had sort of laying around. I hope that you guys enjoy. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and welcome. Alright, Dick Linky here, and I'm here with...
Xavier and Omega.
And...
guys.
What?
Sorry.
And tonight we are checking out one of the most fantastic retro games you can possibly ever play, and that's called
Parasite Eve, the first one. The first one.
Yes, the first one, everyone. So, rock and roll.
So, as we all know, Parasite Eve has the best soundtrack of any game ever.
That is true. I'd have to admit that.
I'd say it's like maybe takes second place to Nier, but even then.
Oh, definitely yes. Well, yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, like, the music in Parasite Eve doesn't make me cry, but the Nier one does.
Yes.
Like, this just makes me want to, like, stop what I'm doing and become a cop, like...
I can't say either one of them make me cry, but I will say that this is the most nostalgic for me.
Oh, for sure.
This sends me back to my days of living in California. Just bought my very first PlayStation, and I think I actually got this from a video game rental store. Yeah.
And then I watched you play it over and over again, and I was terrified of Eve until I grew up.
Yes, I believe you had nightmares, didn't you?
No, I had nightmares about Silent Hill.
Oh, it was Silent Hill.
I did have a fever dream about Eve at one point, and I thought she pushed me off the couch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was like 8 years old, and I was homesick with the flu.
Yep.
And I dreamed that Eve, like, came over and, like, was, like, pushing me off of something really high, and then I fell off the couch, so Eve pushed me off the couch.
Yes. Well, this is the introduction. We're not going to watch the whole thing,
There she is.
but there she is, with all of her wonderfulness. She's definitely my favorite character in this whole thing.
She's great. Yeah, I have no words. She's great.
She really is.
I like Aya a lot, too.
Yes. So you want to get started? Let's roll. Or do you want to watch this whole thing?
Yes, of course we gotta watch the whole thing. It's respectful.
Okay, let's pay homage.
It's almost over.
That's very true. I remember when these were landmark graphics for the time.
They still hold up.
Oh, they definitely hold up.
Like this? This looks great.
It does. It does.
So, something that I think I've told you a million times about this game, but I'm gonna go ahead and say again, is that this was never really meant to be its own thing.
Okay.
This was a tech demo for Final Fantasy VIII.
Oh.
So basically all of the animation and stuff that you see in this game was only really done to see if it could run, if Final Fantasy VIII could run the way it needed to.
I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah, and so you can kind of see, like, the difference, okay, so it's still a Squaresoft game, and it still came out between 7 and 8, basically.
Okay.
And... like, you can see kind of the evolution, where they've still got, like, the very kind of not very detailed faces.
Yeah.
With the realistic proportions.
Yeah.
That's the stuff that showed up in 8, and this is where they tested it to make sure it worked and animated and looked okay, and they got the chance to change things before they started in on Final Fantasy VIII.
I didn't know that, actually. I don't think you did mention that.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of my favorite facts about this game.
Wow, I'll be damned. What year did this game come out, do you remember?
1997.
1997, Jesus.
And we're about to see, like, definitive proof of that, because...
Oh, shit, look at that.
Merry Christmas, 1997.
That's right.
Plus the Twin Towers are still up and everything. Oh,
that's true. This is prior to the bombing of or not bombing, but the planes going into Twin Towers.
Yeah.
Huh. Wow. So, this game definitely holds up.
Yeah, it's a very old game, but very, very good.
Yes. Any other fun facts you know about it, or no?
I know it was based off of a novel from Japan that we have translated in America.
Yeah.
Is
it called the same thing?
It is. It's called Parasite Eve. It's by a guy named Hideaki Sano, I want to say.
Okay.
It's... You can tell he's a scientist.
Oh, really? Yeah.
That's about as far as you can go with it. It's very... like, they definitely want you to understand the science involved in the game.
Okay.
Or in the plot of it.
Yeah.
And it's not really... it doesn't this game isn't really an adaptation of the novel as much as it is kind of a companion to it, or kind of like a sequel. But the plot kind of like takes a few things, borrows a few names, but it's largely its own thing.
Okay.
And the game even references the novel in a few places.
What, I mean, 1997, how do you feel about the, sort of like the controls of the character?
Controls are actually really fluid for pretty much most games.
Yep.
In the sequel, they ended up going over to tank controls, which I found was kind of awkward, but I like this more free-moving kind of experience.
Yeah.
Also, Pudgy's here.
Hi, big man. Big meat. Big heat. He's a cat, by the way, folks.
Oh, yeah.
He's here to pay us a little bit of a visit.
Pudgy.
Yeah, we call him Big Man for short, because he's a big man. Oh, definitely.
So when I was a child, for the longest time, like, I thought that this opera was a real thing.
Oh.
Like, I thought that this was, like, a genuine production. And it took me a very long time to realize that, no, this doesn't exist.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be cool though if it did?
It would. I'd go see it all the time.
Absolutely.
They need to adapt Parasite Eve for Broadway. I think that'd be amazing.
That would be freaking great, actually.
Yeah. Oh my god, why don't I do that?
Yeah.
Just, like, get all 5 of the people I know in musical theater and be like, guys, we're putting on a play.
Yeah, exactly. We're doing Parasite Eve.
Right? We're doing Parasite Eve. It's a sci-fi Broadway thing, and they're gonna be like, oh, like Rocky Horror? No.
Right? Right? Well, yeah.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
It would be.
Oh god, that's really good.
So back before Somatic had voices.
Oh yeah, that's right. Nobody has voice acting in this except for, like, this part.
Yes.
So good.
That is the opera.
Yeah.
Do we know who sung the opera?
I don't. I know that I probably saw the name at some point in my life and then immediately forgot it.
Yeah.
In favor of just, like, loving this so much.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, these cinematics are pretty okay, like, considering the time.
Yeah.
Like, that approach to irises, I haven't seen that anywhere ever.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. The fire looks really good.
It does. It does look good.
Yeah. I've heard that the fire in the movie for Parasite Eve, like, that which is a straight adaptation of the novel, is actually pretty trashy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've heard it's a terrible effect. But, like, you can kind of see, like, how this is the in-between, I guess, of Final Fantasy VII's graphics and 8's graphics.
Yeah.
Where you can see that they've still all got, like, that very uniformly smooth skin.
Yeah.
And, like, those, like, kind of more anime-type features with the big eyes and the small noses. But, like, they've also got very realistic proportions on the bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then 8 had more Americanized features, I guess we can call it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And, like, things had texture, like Squall's jacket and that kind of thing.
So graphics, scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best.
Let's call
For
it...
the time.
For the time, it was a 10.
I'd give it a high 10, yes.
Yeah, these days, I'll call it an 8.
This is definitely back in the days when cinematics actually, and gameplay, you could... Very, very big difference.
Yeah.
You can tell when it switches from one to the other.
Oh yeah, no, we had no in-game cutscenes back in the day.
Right.
Nothing that used the actual engine.
Right.
But, like, this movement here, to kind of go back to your other point.
Let's go
like,
back to that, yeah.
This is fluid. This is good.
You like?
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of gets out of the forward, diagonal, sideways,
Right.
diagonal.
And then in the sequel, they went over to tank controls, which was weird, because I usually associate tank controls on Silent Hill. So it was weird for something that had been free-moving.
Yeah.
And got, like, a lot of appeal and personality on that to suddenly be tank controlled.
Oh no, absolutely. Absolutely.
And, like, the reason that I think that the tank controlled thing kind of killed Parasite Eve 2 is because of the combat in Parasite Eve 2 being identical to this, where, like, enemies had, like, attack patterns and kind of, like, paths to their attacks.
Yeah.
But you couldn't dodge them or avoid them as easily.
Gotcha.
So, like, this.
Oh, this is brilliant.
Yeah. So So like she's gonna do a straight line, and I can avoid that very easily and just like dodge around and loop around and suddenly change direction. But tank controls, that's much harder.
But I mean, still look at the graphics. My God.
Oh, I know.
Very good. Now, how do you feel about the battle system?
Oh, I love the battle system, honestly. It's probably one of my favorite ways that, like, they implemented an ATV bar in the past.
Oh, yeah.
Because they do that in a lot of, I'm going to keep comparing it to Final Fantasy because that's the other big thing that this producer did. Where basically, like, it's turn-based, but you still have some agency.
You still have some agency?
Yeah, so you still can control, like, you know, they say, like, oh, that's going to hit you, and you can say, no, it's not.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. But the combat system's really good. I think that the guns that you end up getting, if you know what you're doing, you can create something very, very powerful.
Well, yeah, they got the mods, don't they?
They do. They have the mods, and you can swap out different guns, and the ranges change, and the amount of shots you have change, and the effects change.
Yeah.
And if you know what you're doing with the tools and everything, like, you can create something very, very deadly.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
Do you feel that they provide enough ammunition?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They
Yeah.
almost might provide you with too much, because you end up having, like, over 600 rounds, and you really only need, let's be nice and say, like, 10 or so to make it through a battle. That's if it's, like, an exceptionally good battle.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, for the most part, you're doing pretty well if you only do, like, maybe 3 or 4 shots in the whole thing.
Right. Right. Huh. What are some of the more difficult enemies?
The German Shepherd always gives me trouble.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
The 3-headed German Shepherd. I know that I usually end up kind of hitting a wall in the hospital section. And that's mostly just due to the fact that they keep releasing monsters that do projectiles.
Mm-hmm.
Eve's fight on top of the hospital is kind of difficult also.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. What else? There's something in the museum that gives me trouble. I feel like it's the T-Rex.
Oh, I remember the T-Rex.
Yeah. And, of course, the final boss is crazy.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
The final boss.
Oh, yeah. The final form or whatever that
Now, have
thing
you beat
is.
this game yet?
Kind of. I beat the final boss.
Okay.
Like, here's a fun story. I beat the final boss. That was fine. And then, how it goes is that you beat that thing, and then you're supposed to run through this, like, maze of a ship.
Okay.
And try to, you run through, like, this maze of a ship, and you try to find the thing that's going to blow it up. Mm-hmm. And I kept getting killed by the thing as I tried to make it through the ship.
Oh, yeah.
And I ended up rage quitting after it got me after a particularly bullshitty kind of move.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
And I ended up losing an entire couple hours worth of progress.
That sucks.
And I didn't feel like going back and beating the final boss.
Right, right. Well, this is back when you saved your dad on a PS1 card.
That's true. Memory cards were a thing.
Yeah. Which, by the way, you still have my PS1 card.
I know. I know
Yep.
where it is, too. So.
She knows where it is, folks. We don't want to lose that, though.
No. Yeah. No, I know where it is. It's in a box.
Gotcha. Yeah. So, where are we now?
Well, we're about to go into the backstage area.
Okay.
I just got some bullets from a cop.
Yeah. Is this game confusing? Is it easy to know where you're going most times, or are there times you get stuck, or what are your thoughts?
I mean, I get lost in later levels, but I think that's just because I don't know them as well as I know the earlier levels, because I've played this game a million times, but I've never beaten it a million times.
Okay.
So I know, I can basically tell you everything that's going to happen up through the police station, and after that I have no idea what's going on.
Okay.
I kind of know my way around the sewers, but I usually have a map out just because all of the sewers look identical. And I always have to look up the hospital and the museum to figure out where I'm going.
So this game does have a map?
Does it?
No, I'm asking.
Oh, no, I have to look it up. Like, I have to look up a map.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
Oh, there goes the cat.
There he goes.
He's had enough. He's done.
That's alright, yeah. That's alright. So, it's not too difficult to know your way around, is it?
It's not difficult to navigate, it's difficult to understand whether or not you've already been here.
Right. Gotcha. Gotcha. Oh, those confusing areas. I think I know what you're talking about. The sewer where you go up one side and the ladder and the...
Right, and it looks the exact same the whole way, so you have no idea, like, what's happening.
Now, do you think that that was by design, or do you think it was just lack of being able to...
Probably a little bit of both. Like, it was something that I feel like probably wasn't by design, but it worked for the design, so they kind of, like, rolled with it and didn't try to fix it.
Right, right.
And there's this, which was gross.
I always thought this was fucking brilliant.
It still holds up. Like, you can see, like, them texturing the fur, like, the teeth. Like, you can see where they, like, started improving on texture. It's still super gross.
It is, actually. I mean, to get that kind of graphics from back in the day, that is ridiculous.
Yeah. No, Square Enix, well, Squaresoft in this case, but Square Enix has always been really good with graphics. That's always been their main strength.
Huh.
Come on, do your thing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, that's fine.
Very nice. I love how when you shoot, there's like, this pushback.
Oh, like she shows recoil.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I meant on the animal when you shoot. Like it actually pushes them back when they get hit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
and recoil, too. Yeah, recoil.
Yeah, no, all of the game feels like very nice. Like, visceral.
They got the echo in there.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very nice. Yes.
Yeah, no, they paid a lot of attention to detail.
Yeah.
Now I'm just gonna go through this person's things and steal all their stuff.
Absolutely.
I'm a police officer. I'm confiscating this medicine.
And you're allowed to do that.
Right. Protecting and serving.
Absolutely.
Oh. I must have opened that particular guy's locker. Alright.
So, I guess while we're kind of at a lull, what is the actual plot of the game?
Oh, okay. I thought, so the plot of the game is that you are Aya Bray, you're in your 20s, you went to an opera with some dude, and, this crazy main actress lady set the whole venue on fire.
What's the crazy actress lady's name?
Her name is Melissa, but she's being taken over by a... I'm not sure what you would even call it. It's not a spirit. Like, force, very ancient force by the name of Eve, who is the result of mitochondria, as in those things that are in your cells, gaining independence and waging war on your nucleus.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's something that could actually happen.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It was expanded more in the novel, but basically, mitochondria does have DNA separate from you.
Okay.
So it has DNA separate from your nucleus, but it doesn't necessarily have sentience.
Gotcha.
Which would be necessary for the rebellion that Eve talks about.
Right, right.
And so you're the one, you, Aya, are the one who has, mitochondria similar to Eve's, so you are the only one who can stop her. You're accompanied by your black best friend Daniel, who is your partner in the police force, and a nerdy little scientist dude named Maeda, who hasn't shown up yet, but basically he is the one who kind of knows what's up because he was in Japan during the novel.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
Let's see. So, over time you end up learning kind of why you're the only one who can stop her, and it has to do with like a kidney transplant that you received when you were young, and it happened to be from Japan, and it was the kidney of the girl, of the woman who was killed in the book, but you don't know that if you didn't read the book, and I don't think America had the book at the time.
Right.
So really you just think like, oh god, it was some operation, how creepy.
Yeah, yeah. Look at that.
Ah, memory cards. Listen.
Gotta love it. So memory cards are done on those phones. That's how you save, yes?
Yep. Yep. Phones are save points, which I always thought was kind of a cool concept.
I agree.
I think that if I ever did a did create a game like this, like a survival game like this, I would want it to be kind of similar, where you're not necessarily using phones as much as you're charging your phone personally.
Gotcha. Yes, that would be a cool concept.
It would, yeah. So I'd probably end up doing something like that if I was to ever make a survival horror game like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, all in all, what roughly the completion time on something like this?
Hours?
Yeah.
Hours, not days, I think.
Too long? Too short?
Oh, no, it's got a good length.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not... Even though I keep comparing it to Final Fantasy in terms of graphics, it's not a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah.
So if it took longer than 20 hours, I'd be like, okay, come on, hurry it up.
No, you're right.
But it's not like modern games like this where it would take, like 5 or 6 hours. I think it's... I haven't looked it up, but I think it would probably be in like the 12, 13 hour kind of region.
Okay.
Which is a good length. It's probably less than that, probably more like 9 or 10.
Yeah. Is it interesting enough to hold, you know what I mean, the motivation to want to keep moving forward?
Yeah.
Or does it drop out? Or
I definitely think that it keeps you engaged. A lot of that is the fact that it keeps changing location.
yeah.
Like
yeah,
if I was
good
just
point.
exploring a theater for a couple hours, it would probably get really boring, but because I'm exploring, first a theater and then Central Park, and then
Right.
you end up going into the sewers, all of that kind of like scenery changing helps to keep it interesting.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Alright. See, that was quick.
Yeah.
Very quick. I mean, some of the fights are lengthy, some are not so much.
Yeah, like we're about to get into one that has a little bit more length to it. But first I need to at least get rid of something, so we're gonna get rid of that.
So do you feel that this is a game for beginners, people who are somewhat seasoned, more the advanced gameplay player?
Well,
what do you
that's the
think?
thing. I think it would depend on where that beginner is coming from. Because if that beginner is coming into this expecting like a standard third-person shooter like Resident Evil,
Yep.
they would probably be kind of frustrated with how simplistic the game is.
Yeah.
Because you don't really have to like aim and shoot. You just kind of have to make sure that the enemy is within your range.
Gotcha. Yeah. So anyone can really play this with relative ease.
Oh yeah. It's a pretty basic game. But if you're the kind of person who's willing to sit there and kind of study it and figure out what it's about, you're gonna end up doing so well with it, which is good because it has a new game plus and a bonus dungeon.
Yeah.
So you at least have the opportunity to get good with it, but it's also very accessible. There, that's the one that freaked me out. That's the one who pushed me off the couch when I was 8.
Yeah, well.
Oh god, she used to freak me out so bad.
Well, look at that shit. I mean, to a little kid, that's some
Oh yeah.
that's some shit.
I think I used to be most disturbed about like what happened to her hands and her legs.
Yeah, her arms, yeah. So would you recommend this game to children?
Depends on the kid. I don't think I could, in good conscience, like, hand this to any given parent and be like, yeah, no, Johnny and Susie will love it. But at the same time, like, if the kid has an interest in this kind of thing, they could certainly do a lot worse.
Yes.
Because it's not as, morally gray as other kind of more violent horror games are, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, it's not... You don't kill humans in this, like, let's start there.
Okay.
Like, you don't kill people. You just end up killing mutations and, like, mutated animals, but never do you kill people.
Yeah.
So, it's pretty morally upstanding compared to a lot of games. It also has kind of a better female role model than most games. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a finger at Resident Evil again.
Okay.
Where, everyone's kind of scantily clad and lacks agency and screams a lot. But in, like, this game, Aya's obviously very in control of herself. She has her own life. She clearly has positive relationships with other people that aren't necessarily based in physicality. So I consider her a better role model for people than say, Ashley from Resident Evil 4.
Mm-hmm.
I used to kind of think that Aya and Jill Valentine from 3 were pretty much the same human.
Okay.
So that, but again, Jill doesn't really have a character as much as just kind of a standard, like, I have to do the right thing kind of personality, whereas Aya has, like, flaws, and she gets afraid, and, like, I value that more than I value just Jill stoically running into Raccoon City.
Yeah.
So, I can't say that I would recommend this as, like, you know, parent game of the year, necessarily.
Yeah.
But I do think that parents could do a lot worse than handing their kid this game. Not that I think any kid would be interested in this game.
Overall impression of this game?
I mean, it's one of my favorites for a reason.
Okay.
You know, like I said, I really like the characters a lot. I think that the gameplay is really rewarding, especially once you've gotten into the mastery point of the easy to learn, hard to master kind of aspect. Like, there's a reason I keep coming back to it, and there's a reason that Square Enix tried to milk that cow so desperately.
Yeah.
Because it's a good game, but for some reason they just couldn't grasp the finer points of why it's a good game. But it's a terrific game.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, I gotta say that out of a lot of these older games, I gotta give this one a 10. And I don't give many games a 10.
That's true, you don't.
Music is there, graphics is there, schematics is there, creativity in the frickin' monsters is there,
Oh, yeah.
scenery, you know what I'm saying, movement, control, battle system, idea.
Yeah, no, it's a terrific game. It's one of the best ones that came out around this time.
Absolutely. So, do you recall any real media coverage on this?
I mean, I know that I probably saw like a magazine ad for it, but I was, 6 when this game came out?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I don't think I'd remember anything. You might, though.
I don't remember, no. Honestly, I don't. Because aside of Nintendo Power, I don't recall many other magazines out there. And back then, they didn't have TV commercials for games like they do now.
They barely have them now.
Right. Well, you see a lot more PlayStation games popping up.
Right, and that's because, like, Sony has more money now, so Sony can afford to do that now.
Back in the day, they didn't do that, especially for games like this. It just didn't happen, so. Is there anything about this game that you dislike? If you had to pick something. And you don't have to pick anything, really.
It doesn't really give you many hints on where to go. So if you're like me and you kind of, like, ADHD around and you, like, ping off of different games all the time, and then you come back to things and you don't know what you're doing or where you're going, that can be kind of frustrating.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
Like, even if it was just, like, a simple, like, you know, go here. Like, not necessarily telling you where to go here or, like, how much time to go here, but just, like, you know, go to the hospital, go to the police station.
Right.
But, like, I think that too much hand-holding might ruin it.
I agree.
So, I don't know. On one hand, I would kind of like it to be a little bit more guiding, but I also value the fact that the game opens up a little bit later, and any kind of guidance would sort of spoil that aspect.
What is your favorite thing about the game?
The characters.
Okay.
Hands down, or at least Aya.
Yeah.
I like Aya a lot. I kind of idolized her when I was in middle school. But again, like, they kind of destroyed her in later games, and I was kind of pissed off about it.
Yeah.
But, like, it wasn't enough to taint my original viewing of the character, I guess.
It's not her fault, right?
Right, exactly. Plus, not to mention, you know, 1 is still here and hasn't gone anywhere.
Right. Sex sells, and I think she just, like many females, just fell victim to that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely something more like that than, like, oh, this character has been, like, a little strumpet from the beginning. Like, that's nowhere near the case.
Right.
Like, she's wandering around in an opera thing now, but, you know, she was going to the goddamn opera. Like, she can't wear her leather jacket and jeans into the opera.
Exactly. Exactly, that's a good point.
Right, but then, like, in Parasite Eve 2, like, she has a shower scene, and in Parasite Eve 3, like, gave her clothing degradation.
Right. Yeah, so, I mean, this doesn't really do that, but yeah.
Right, like, there's a huge like, there's a world of difference between, like, clothing degradation and, you know, wearing an opera dress to an opera.
Right, right.
Okay, now I don't want to use that right off.
So what do you feel could be improved upon, if anything?
Really just only the graphics in these overworld sequences. And, like, it's not really a tall order, necessarily.
Yeah.
I think that if any game would benefit from a modern remastering, not a remake, but a remastering, it would be this one.
Well, we've seen what remastering looks like nowadays, and personally I think it's just schlepped. Shit.
Right, but I'm saying, like, if you zhuzhed up the background and the actual character but didn't touch anything, I think it would be a terrific game.
Yeah. Shrinky dinks on freaking blurry backgrounds.
Right. Like, don't just polish her model, like, do something with the backgrounds as well.
Do the entire game. If you're gonna touch shit, do
Touch
the
all
whole
the
damn
shit.
thing. Right, yeah. Don't just don't schlep some shit out there for modern. Yeah, it's not good. And they did that with frickin' Final Fantasy IX, and it looked like ass.
And they did it with 8 too.
Ugh. Not impressed, folks. Not impressed.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't do that with the remastering.
Right.
That's honestly why I'm wary of the remaster now, is because I realized, like, I haven't seen a single background and I'm afraid.
Yes. So when you see remastering prior to that, you were kind of like, oh wow, good, great, wonderful.
Yeah, no, I was excited because it looked like everything was kind of, you know, getting some vindication. I was really excited.
Let this be a lesson to you folks. Stop fucking with shit. Leave it alone. Remaster is bad. And stop fucking with Ghostbusters. Great movie. Let's not mess with that anymore, people.
I mean, it hasn't gone anywhere.
What?
Well, okay, Alright, so here's my opinion on, like, the difference between remastering a game and remaking a movie. Can you still watch the original Ghostbusters on your DVD player right now if you wanted to?
Sure.
Can you watch the remake on your DVD player if you wanted to?
Sure.
Now, if you wanted to play the original Final Fantasy VIII, can you do that on your PS4?
Yes.
No.
Wait.
The original Final Fantasy VIII. No remaster,
PS2.
no port.
PS2 or PS1.
Right. So that's as far as you can go. So the cutoff is whenever that came out, so let's be nice and say 2007.
Okay.
So the cutoff date for anybody who wanted to play Final Fantasy VIII is people who got into gaming around 2007. Now, can you play the remaster on the PS4? You bet your ass. It's PS4 exclusive. Of course you can.
Okay.
Gaming, the original forms of games are not accessible to people who didn't get into games at the right time.
Uh-huh.
But movies, you can go back and watch as many movies as you want. You can go back and watch movies from the 20s if you want to. Nothing's stopping you. But it's harder to do that with older games.
Yes,
and so I think that remasters have value in that they at least inform people that there was a piece of media that was this.
My thing with that is that they're developing their impression from the remaster. So when they go back, it's kind of like when these bands release songs. People become a fan of that song, not the original version.
You're saying covers, you're talking about covers.
Absolutely. So it's sort of the same thing. They become a fan of the cover or the remaster or the remake.
Right, but the point of it is...
They don't actually go back.
Well, they can go back. The point is that they have the ability to go back.
They don't. So a lot of these companies, I feel, are making money off half-assing this shit and schlepping it to the people as something...
Right, I'll give you that they're schlepping things together. No one's denying that for a minute. But my point is that, like, there's a huge difference between remastering a game or even remaking a game and like redoing a movie. And the main difference is the accessibility of the plot.
I say leave it alone, folks. Leave it alone. Come up with an original idea.
There are no more original ideas. We've been literally writing Bible fan fiction since the Bible.
Ugh. So sad.
Literally, your favorite game, Dante's Inferno, Oriander?
Yeah.
That's literally based off of Bible fanfic.
Oh, totally.
Self-insert Bible fanfic. It's not... Like, you want to talk about original ideas.
Oh, no, I hear you. I understand there's no more original ideas.
Oh, I've got to hit the tail first.
We're just branching off of really good stuff.
Oh, shit.
Oh, I remember this guy.
Oh, he got me. Ooh. I think he knows me too. I think he remembers me also.
Right.
Oh, God, stay away.
So would you recommend this game?
Yes.
Why?
I think that it's a really interesting idea. I like the combat, I like the story of it. There's very little that I dislike in this game, which is harder for me to say.
Yeah.
And it's also, not only is it hard for me to find criticism for the game, but it's also harder for me to, pull myself away from the game once I'm invested in it.
Yeah.
Like, once I'm in a Parasite Eve mood, like, nothing can get me away from it except for playing Parasite Eve.
Right. A lot of items, huh?
Yeah, well that's the thing, like, your storage capacity upgrades as you level up, which is also a cool idea that not that many games do anymore.
Yeah.
Phase 2? Phase 2 of boss fight? Yeah, phase 2 of boss fight.
Yeah. Do you feel there's enough health drinks and potions and stuff to keep you alive?
Yeah, if anything, like, the game kind of turns Odin's Fury after a while, in that, inventory management becomes something you have to worry about.
Okay.
Because, like, you know, you've got limited inventory space, and the game will gladly throw you as many health drinks as you want.
Oh, yeah.
But it becomes just kind of like, how many of them can you pick up?
Yeah.
And, at a certain point, your Japanese friend Maeda starts giving you, like, little charms, like little good luck charms, some of which you're not allowed to take out of your inventory.
Oh, yeah.
So he kind of slowly becomes a pain in the ass, and you're like, no, please don't give me another thing. I don't want it.
Right.
Not to mention the junk which the game bestows on you very graciously.
There you go. Boom.
But, it's pretty fair about it. Like,
Yeah.
it lets you drop things and exchange things.
Yeah.
So yeah, no complaints on items.
Favorite song?
Probably Out of Phase.
I would
which
agree
is
with
the
that.
beginning one there, I think.
Yes.
Either that or Eve's Aria, which is, we already heard that too. Out of Phase is the, like, I don't think we get to hear that for a little while. We might hear that after, like, this cutscene.
You know, you're going to hear it here on this video is where you're going to hear it.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm going to throw it in, bitches.
It's like, it's fun. It's like, it's urban and it's driving, but at the same time, like, it's not, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah.
Or obnoxious or anything like that.
Yeah, like, it's a very chill sort of track for the energy it has.
Totally groovy, yes. It's a groovy tune, folks.
Yeah, like, it's ideal if you're having a good commute, if that makes any kind of sense.
I agree.
Like, it's the sound of a good commute.
It is. Speaking of commute,
Oh, yeah.
they're driving. So anything, before we wrap up, is there anything that you want to add?
Probably just that this is the best game of the 2 games that exist, and there are only 2 games, and if you think that there are 3 games, then you're wrong.
Yeah, there is no Parasite Eve 3, folks.
There is no third birthday. Don't even bother
Yeah.
Googling it. It's not real.
And don't bother watching the new Ghostbusters either, because that sucks also.
Have you even seen it?
I don't want to.
Well, then you can't say it sucks.
Sacrilege garbage. I will not watch it.
Give me a
I'm
goddamn break.
completely opposed, folks. Do not watch that trash.
You're gonna be okay, I promise.
It's not gonna happen. And you know what? The third version of this game is fucking great. I love it. It's my favorite.
Which you've also never played.
It's my favorite, folks. I love it.
I'm just saying, like, play it. You should experience the media before you make an opinion of it. How's that?
Anyway, what's the word we're looking for? Schlep? Schlep.
I mean, they definitely schlepped the third birthday.
Yeah,
It was
they
complete
definitely
trash. Oh god, I hate it so much.
That's funny.
Ugh.
What's your first memory of the game before we totally wrap it up?
Okay, so we were in California.
Yep.
And this was in your dad's house.
My dad's house. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so we were, like, there for the night, like we were having dinner or something. And I think, Grampy Rich was trying the game. Like, he was trying it out.
Really?
Yep,
Oh, I
and...
don't recall this. Okay.
Well, the reason that I recall it so strongly is because you said, Meg, go in the other room.
Oh, yeah.
And so I had to, like, stare at the door until you told me to come back in, and it was while the rat was transforming.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. This yet?
Yeah, and like if this is what a tech demo gives us, then I think they should make more tech demos.
Oh, I definitely think. You know what?
What?
I wonder if I got that.
What? Well, I can't redo
The
it.
first memory of the game. Yeah. No, I know that one part. Anyway, all right, folks. Well, that's that. That's a wrap, and I hope you enjoyed Parasite Eve. I am Dick Linky.
And Xavier Omega. See you guys.
All right, you have a fantastic evening. Don't forget to grab Dick's Picks. And of course, we, our Retro Review Sundays. There should be something up every week. And please feel free to leave a comment. And you take care. Have a good night.
Also, go check out my channel. I do vlogs and Twitch VODs and Let's Plays and just like and just a whole bunch of other stuff.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye, guys.
All right.